essential returning the mind to the visceral experience of breathing upon noticing distraction in the gentlest possible way. So that is incredibly important. But if it's difficult to do for long periods of time at first, a lot of different ways we can use focuses or foci to keep the mind in the present moment and train ourselves to return the attention to now. So the breath is a great anchor. You have it all the time. It's something you've had your whole life. We're very familiar with it. It's very personal. We can also use sound, as we do with the singing bowls. We can use the body sensation, as we do with the body scanning. And you can use any sense that you're willing to focus entirely on. So in this way, meditation can start to really enter eating habits, even for short periods of time, which is an incredibly blissful experience to really be in the habit of allowing yourself to focus on the nourishing moments in your life. Very, very important. For the vast majority of our history as animals, that food, shelter, and a mate thing was all that mattered. So we're really very hardwired to have joy from that. And we may as well. So taking the time to practice during food, the consumption of food that's awesome, or even food that's not so great, but that you know is feeding you, the knowledge that you're becoming nourished and able to continue with your day if you're eating something you don't like so much, but particularly when we enjoy the food. It's a great practice. It will help with the focus training and the strengthening of the entire focused present mind, and it will also be blissful and easy to do. So food's a great way. But feel free to use any focus that brings you into the present moment in a non-judgmental and visceral way. When we can start to bring a little bit of a taste of compassion into that, then you start to really get almost the whole picture of the practice. It's always more depth. There's always more to study. There's always further to go. And there's a lot of different practices. But if you can bring in that complete and utter focus on the moment, along with compassion for yourself and other people, then you're really just cultivating a mind that is present, productive, capable, healthy, and loving. And there's no way that I can see anyone arguing against that being a very valuable thing to do. It also doesn't take a whole lot of effort once we start to put our time into it, because it's quite natural. So I am digressing quite a bit from this paper as usual, but the practice in and of itself can be incredibly simple and incredibly available all the time. And that is on point for tonight, is how available moments of practice actually are. They're constant. And the only time that becomes dangerous is if we force ourselves with a sort of level of guilt to say, I should be practicing all the time, I didn't practice enough last week. It's one thing to note that you would prefer to practice more. It's an entire other thing to fall into a shaming or a guilt process or any type of anxiety over your practice or negative feelings. So that's to be avoided at all costs. We don't want to develop an aversion to it, and it shouldn't cause you any pain. But it is available all the time, and whenever you can practice, the better.